Hi guys, today we are going to do a yoga wheel flow. If you don't have a yoga wheel, I definitely recommend investing in a prop like this. I absolutely love mine. I got it for Christmas last year and it has helped my back bends so much. It's definitely worth the investment in my opinion. So let's get started. Coming to a nice cross-legged seat on your mat. Just sitting at the top of your mat. Bring your yoga wheel back behind your back, pressing it against your spine, and gently just leaning back onto the wheel. You can let your head go here, or just keep it up, nice and easy. Bring your arms out to your side, floating your eyes closed, and coming into your breath. Taking a big inhale, lifting your arms up above your head, interlacing your fingers, placing them back behind your head, and just letting your head release here if you didn't have it already. Letting it be supported by your hands. Breathing. Releasing your hands, pressing yourself forward, and just letting yourself walk out to the top of your mat, keeping a cross-legged position, one leg in front of the other. Folding over here, this should be a nice hip opener. And walking your hands back, releasing out of that, switching the cross of your legs, and coming right back up and over, folding over, opening up through the hips. Pressing back up, grabbing your yoga wheel if it's not already behind you, uncrossing your legs, pressing your hips up and just leaning back. We're going to rock back and forth on the wheel here, just going at your own pace, just moving up and down your spine. If you find a really nice opening in one spot, you can just hang out there and breathe some more space. If you'd rather keep a constant flow, just rocking back and forth. Releasing out of that, coming back to a nice cross-legged position. Taking a nice twist over to your left side, grabbing a hold of the left knee with the right hand and twisting. Release, twisting up and over to the right side. Left hand, right knee, twisting. Coming back to center, grabbing a hold of your wheel, bringing it to the top of your mat. Coming onto all fours, rolling around in a couple of cat-cows, taking a big inhale, arching your back. Exhale, rounds. Doing a couple more here at your own pace. Finishing whatever you have going on there, we're going to come into a plank pose on the wheel. If you don't feel comfortable coming into a full plank, just hang out on your knees. You're going to grab the wheel with both hands and gently press up into a plank. This takes a little more balance than a usual plank. If you're struggling here, you can widen out your legs. Just breathing. You might find yourself shaking a little bit here. I know I am. Almost finished. Coming out of that, just bring your knees down and bring your hands off of the wheel, letting it rest between your body here, tucking your toes, sending your hips back, down dog. Maybe pedaling out your feet here, swaying your hips a bit side to side, opening up the backs of the legs. Rounding out to your plank pose, holding. Shifting back, down dog. Taking a big inhale, lifting your right leg up, sweeping it through, low lunge. We're going to support this lunge with the wheel coming onto the back leg. You can line it up here with your thigh or maybe down below, just avoiding the knee. Once you have it in place, you can take a big inhale, lifting everything up, coming into your high lunge. Releasing your hands back down onto your mat. Lifting your hips up, straightening out your legs, folding over that front straight leg. You can have a gentle bend in the knee. Maybe swaying your hips a bit side to side. Bending back into that front knee, placing that wheel down on the back leg, lifting everything up into your high lunge. Release, palms plant down, stepping back plank, and shifting back, down dog. Your next inhale, left leg lifts, sweeping it through, low lunge, setting up the wheel with that back leg, placing it wherever feels best. If you want to experiment a little bit, go ahead. I find that it works best up on my upper thigh, but it might be different for you. Just play around, see what feels good. And taking an inhale, lifting everything up. Planting your palms down, shifting your hips up, straightening out your legs, folding over. Breathing. Bending back into that front leg, Placing the wheel on the back leg, lifting everything up, high lunge. Palms plant down, stepping back plank, shifting back downward dog. Rolling that wheel back to the top of the mat, coming back into that plank pose. I find that it's easiest to get into this from my knees, securing my hands, tucking my toes, and lifting everything up. And releasing, setting your wheel aside, walking your hands out, resting your hips down onto your mat, coming into an up dog or cobra. Maybe swaying a bit side to side. And pressing back, child's pose. And taking your time, pressing up into your downward dog. Taking a nice easy walk up to the top of your mat. Folding over once you get there, maybe having a gentle bend in the knees, swaying your hips a bit side to side, clasping a hold of the elbows. Unclasping the cross of your arms, bringing your heels in a bit, your toes out, sinking down into a squat. Pressing your elbows against your knees to open up. Coming down to sit. Grabbing a hold of the wheel, placing it back behind your back. Pressing your hips up, we're going to roll back and forth on the wheel like we did at the beginning. Just taking your time, moving through whatever feels nice. If you want to stop somewhere, feels good, open up with a few deep breaths, or just rolling back and forth, going at your own pace. And releasing, coming back to sit, grabbing a hold of that wheel, bringing it out in front of you. You can either hold it like this or you can hold it long ways. Just coming into your boat, bringing it to one side and then the other, just pulsing back and forth here in your boat, breathing, staying easy in your body, working from your core. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing, setting the wheel aside, folding over, forward folds. Coming up out of that, bending into your legs, swinging everything around, coming back onto all fours, bringing the wheel back to center. Going to open up through our shoulders here. So you're going to rest your elbows on top of the wheel. If that doesn't work for you, you can just bring your hands out and let everything release down. Playing around, seeing what feels best. And breathing once you find a space that feels nice. Maybe rocking a bit back and forth, just nice and easy. Taking your time coming out of that. Leaving the wheel where it's at. Coming back into your downward dog. Taking a big inhale, lifting your right leg up, down dog split. Exhale, sweeps it through, low lunge. This time bringing the wheel back to the back of your leg. Bending into that knee, might take a little bit of playing to get here. And releasing the knee down onto the mat. You can have your toes pointed or flexed. Just making sure the front knee is lined up with the ankle. You can widen your stance a bit more for balance. And pressing everything up. You can have your hands up above your head, just resting on that knee. Breathing here. Should feel a really deep opening in the front of that left leg. Bring your palms back down onto the mat. Bring your right foot out to the outer edge of your mat. Pressing up onto that back leg. Coming into a lizard here with the wheel pose on the back leg. Bending into that back knee. Bringing the front leg back to center. Coming up off of that, shifting back onto all fours. Bringing the wheel back to the center of your mat and coming into your downward dog. Getting ready to do the same thing up and over on the other side, taking a big inhale, lifting your left leg. Exhale, sweeps it through, low lunge. Bringing the wheel back to meet the back of the right leg. Bending into that knee, placing it down onto the mat. Making sure your front knee is lined up with your ankle. And when you're ready, lifting everything up. Bring your palms back down onto the mat. Shifting that left knee and left foot out to the outer edge of the mat. Pressing up off of the back leg. Coming into a lizard here with your wheel. bending back into that back knee, placing down the right knee, bringing the front leg back to center, gently coming off of the wheel, bringing your hips around, setting the wheel off to your side, and rolling through a few cat-cows. Just taking them at your own pace, taking big inhales to arch your back, and exhaling, rounding your back. Coming back, downward dog. Walking up to the top of your mat, folding over, forward folds. Coming back into that squat. And coming down to sit. Grabbing a hold of your wheel, placing it back behind your back. Going to come into a fish pose here. It might be pretty intense. If it's too much, you can grab some blocks or just prop yourself up on your arms. You can have your legs crossed or have them straight out in front of you. Just arching your back, letting everything release down onto the wheel. Kind of like how when we started, you can have your hands back behind your head or maybe resting at your side. Maybe floating your eyes closed, focusing inward on your breath. Drawing that breath towards your upper body to the places that you feel the stretch in the opening, letting it release a bit more. And releasing out of that, taking your time here, just pressing yourself up off the wheel, bringing it to your side. We'll be done with that for today. Coming into a nice cross-legged seat, sitting up nice and tall, closing your eyes, focusing in on your breath. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your knees into your chest, gently rocking back. Maybe swaying your hips a bit side to side. Letting everything release, Shavasana. Bring your feet out as wide or maybe even wider than your mat. Arms resting at your sides, turning inward, releasing. And starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rolling around your wrists and your ankles. Taking a nice stretch up above your head. One by one, bringing your knees into your chest, giving them a squeeze. And coming up to sit, maybe laying onto one side and pressing up, or rocking your way up to sit, coming in a nice, easy cross-legged position. Floating your eyes closed. And taking a big inhale. Nice long exhale out through your mouth, letting everything release. And floating your eyes open, and you're good to go. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the button down below to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.